Hello everyone. In today's video, I want to talk about how to structure a workout from the time that you get into the gym by the time you leave. And I know that this is something that many people don't take too much time to really think about. They kind of just show up, do the thing, and then leave. And even when they're at the gym, they're just floating about, grabbing whatever exercise they want to do, which to each their own. But I think having a set order within which you do exercises can really help to make sure that you're taxing the muscles properly and in a logical order. And so to start, before I do any workout, I always make sure to get a good warm up in, and this means I do some static and dynamic stretching for my upper body or lower body, depending on what I'm working out. I typically do an upper day or a lower day. I don't like to split and mix and match body parts. I think that's just too much thinking for me. I just want to know, okay, top half of the body or bottom half of the body. That's it. Keep it simple. So when I'm working on my upper body, I always try to make sure that my pecs and lats and what are all flexible and mobile, so that it's not limiting my shoulder. And once that's kind of set up, and this is done with just stretching out the pec like this and the lat overhead and very simple exercises. Um, and then when that's all nice and mobilized, I'll take time to stabilize my shoulder. So this is with things like scapular push-ups, W's, T's, Y's, things of that nature, just to make sure that the muscles in the back that are actually there to stabilize the shoulder and the scapula are all active and ready to to support the shoulder when it comes time for me to lift anything in the gym. But when it's a lower day, the focus, it takes a little bit longer to do a warm up for lower day, just because more muscles would be tight, and I need to spend a little bit more time on that, especially now with my hip. So what I will do is stretch out my quads, hamstrings, glutes, and hip flexors very well, and then spend some time activating my hips, specifically the external rotator, so the muscles on the side of your hip, next to your butt. And those muscles there are very important to activate because they help support the uh, the lower body. This helps support everything you do, from a deadlift to a squat to a split squat or anything else you do. They're there and active, and they need to be. You need to give them love. You need to show them love. Otherwise, they're not going to do their job. And I know that with my injury on my hip, that's probably the case. I didn't do enough work on them. So this looks like clamshells or lateral leg raises, any sort of banded squat or glute bridge. If you put a band at your knees, it's a great way to activate these when you do a squat or a glute bridge or even a deadlift, so that you know that they're activated and working. So you can throw a mini band on in your warm up, and it's a great way to activate these muscles. But once I'm done the warm up, I then get into my actual training, actual workout. And so when the way I think about it is I work big to small. And whatever your goal is, if you're looking for strength or you're looking for muscle gain, you want to either work big movement or big muscle groups first, and then work smaller from there. So for me, I do the big compound or big muscle groups first. So on an upper day, I'll do my chest first, lats, then shoulders, and mid back, and then I do arms. I don't start with arms because they're a smaller, less important muscle group. No offense if you think that the arms should be the only thing you train on a day, which I think is ridiculous. Anyways, um, I will do the chest first, then lats and all that stuff, just because they are the bigger muscles and they require bigger compound movements for me to do. So I want to make sure that those have all the necessary resources, I guess, metabolic resources. I'm not tired already when I do them, so that when I do my arms, I don't need to be moving as much weight to work out my arms. So if I'm already fatigued, it doesn't matter. They're still going to get great stimulus. And it's the same thing for my legs. Big movements like Romanian deadlift or squat, I will do first, and then I will work down from there and do accessories and work onto, like, Bulgarian split squats or what have you. Because I'm not trying to do the smaller exercises or even isolation exercises first, and have that be in the way. Now, if you've watched my videos on the 30-minute work protocol that I do now, you might be wondering, well, there's isolation baked into each set. You do an isolation exercise and do a compound exercise. And for that reason, I'll always say that I'm still following the principle because I'm doing the big muscle groups first and then the smaller muscle groups. So for my lower body, for example, upper body, I already explained it, but for my lower body, I'll be doing things like my glutes or my quads first, and then I'll be working to hamstrings and then maybe calves every now and again. But that's typically how I structure it. I always work big to small, whether it be big movement or big muscle group, that goes first, and then I work small, and then something that categorized as accessory work, and then I'm done. But I don't go home yet because we have arguably a very important component of the whole day, which is a cool down. Taking some time to stretch after a workout is a great way to not feel old after you work out, because if you don't stretch after you work out, you're gonna very soon start to get very stiff, and then you might get injured, and then you're gonna feel very old. And right now, because I didn't take time to show my hip enough love, both in terms of mobility and stability, I now feel old. So yeah, that's not what working out should do. Working out should make you feel young and invincible. So take some time after your workouts to cool down. Static stretch, 30 seconds to a minute on all the muscles that you worked out that in that training session. And then once you're done that, then you can go home, relax, have your meals, whatever you have to do for the rest of the day. But don't do yourself a favor and don't leave the gym until you cool down, because your body's going to be it's going to be getting very stiff and very tight. It's not going to like it. So yeah, the 5-10 minutes you spend stretching is very much worth your while. Other than that, that is sort of how I structure the workouts. I try to keep them very simple. Again, I don't like to think too much when I work out. I just want to lift stuff. So yeah, in the warm-ups, make sure I'm nice and loose in my shoulders and hips, depending on what day I'm working out. Then making sure that my shoulders and hips are stabilized. And then when it comes time to work out, I work big first to small, and then I stretch afterwards, and then I'm done. Very simple. Not much thought needed. Lifting should be fun. You're not trying to be a nerd in there, calculating everything. No, just go lift stuff, but do it in a smart and safe manner. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions about how you structure your workouts, and if you want any help with that, send me a message. I would love to help you, or put a comment down below if you're brave, and I'll look to answer it. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.